Back, final segment here, Tri-State Sports Guys, top of the Cable Ray Studios here in Norwalk. Time for the 5 and 10. Let's get right into it. Gotta talk a little bit of baseball here. Jorge Posada.
Yep.
Probably retired a year too late, but I mean you can't deny the guy had a fantastic career.
Yes.
Check out the article I've written on coedmagazine.com. I made a case for why I think he's a Hall of Fame catcher. Now I don't know where you put him as far as catchers of his era. I mean, I put him right behind Pudge, Piazza, and him. Right? I mean, you look at his era when he's playing.
He's one of the top 3 or 4 guys in
Right.
this era.
Right.
He had a very good career. I think that he's borderline in that he may get in, but I think he's the type of guy that gets in a year where there's not a lot of guys.
Well, I think that's going to be his problem. I mean, you're going to see what might wind up happening is there's going to be this backlog of these guys that are going to be milling around because of the steroid thing. And then eventually these guys are going to get in. And are they going to get in 5 years when that wave starts hitting? I don't know. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts about Jorge Posada? Now, Tony, you're a Yankee fan.
I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
You look at the numbers. There's only been about 15 catchers that have made the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And when you look at his numbers against them, he's up towards the top of all this offensive statistics.
It'll take him a couple times, but
I don't think it's a first ballot, but I think and I don't even know that he'll get in, but I think that he should get in. And when you base it on there's a couple ways to look at it. You look at all-time stats against other people from his position, he's there, and then you put him up against his peers, and you look at what he's done. You know what I mean against his peers. Name another catcher other than the 2 I named that could put a bigger.
I think that's what I don't disagree with you. I think he's probably the 3rd.
Yeah.
With unless I'm missing somebody that's really obvious, and I'm going to count Craig Biggio as a second.
Yeah,
baseman.
right. There's been guys that have had good little runs. I mean, Veritek has had a good,
But I don't know that a very, very good player should be in Hall of Fame just because there weren't a lot of other good players. Maybe there's just not a lot of good Hall of Fame catchers.
But I think you have to compare people to your own. I mean, you can't compare offensive numbers from a bunch of first basemen to a catcher, I don't think. I mean, you're just never going to put up that. You're only going to play 130 games and 162 games.
I just feel like
it beats you up when you're back there. I mean, you can't ever. I mean, especially catcher.
I think that when you, I guess the
thing no shortstop should ever have been in up until Calvin.
No, what I'm going to say is I think the reason why I say he's got good numbers and he may get in, like it wouldn't be crazy if he got in.
Yeah.
Is that I feel like when you play positions like a shortstop or a catcher or positions like that, unless you have ridiculous offensive numbers like a Piazza, you need to play defense.
Right.
And the fact that he was never seen as good defense, in fact, he's an awful defensive catcher.
Yeah,
bothers me a little. That's why, his offensive numbers are very good. That could probably vault him into the Hall of Fame. But the fact that he has no help from any defense,
I think it's also going to hurt him that he
help.
Played for the Yankees because I think he's going to get lumped into how many Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
How many guys? Yeah, I mean
how would he really do? Can any? But I mean, the guy averaged 20 home runs a year. He had 275 home runs, 273 average. The guy. I mean, he put up good numbers.
But you wonder. I think people the
World Series rings.
The detractors will say, forget about the rings. And does he only have those numbers because he stuck around for a long time? Because he never had a year where you looked up and he had 35 homers. Or
he was twice in the top 10 MVP vote.
He was just very consistent and
twice. I mean, the guy hit 330 late in his career.
I wouldn't be shocked if he got it.
Let's get into the national championship game briefing.
Absolutely.
Did you watch it?
Absolutely.
Start to finish. I watched start to finish. You guys?
Second.
I watched the second half of it.
I watched it start to finish. Now, I'm not a big college football fan. I'm not going to try to pretend it, but I watch a decent amount of college football if I put money on games or whatever. This Jordan Jefferson was a 0.
Less than 0.
The guy, I mean, look, I was
a high school quarterback. That's what I said.
But I don't even know. I mean, we ran the option in my high school sparingly, and I know how to run the option. You got to attack that end. He would run. I mean, Tony, you guys ran some option. You would see him instead of attacking the end and making the end make a decision. Yeah. He would fade away. So when he's making a pitch, he's pitching the ball 3 feet. The D end was able to cover both him and the pitchman.
Weren't they rotating quarterbacks? I thought.
No, they were.
They didn't though. He got suspended early in the year, and they brought in this guy, and then he plays most of the season. He had one bad game where he thrown a couple of picks. They bring Jefferson back in, and I was waiting for him to come in the whole second half.
The reason why
clearly wasn't working.
They showed some stats that the last time this guy played against Bama, he threw 4 picks. He was awful. But I couldn't believe that they didn't at least try. They couldn't be any worse. They didn't get the ball over to 50 until midway through the fourth quarter.
Have you seen the clip of Bobby Hebert? Remember Bobby Hebert?
Yeah. For the Saints.
For the Saints. Now his son is an offensive lineman for that team.
Oh, okay.
For LSU, and he's now a member of the media. I don't know who he works for some station or whatever, and he grilled Les Miles after the game. And rambled on, and the moderator had to go, "Is there a question?" Because he was so angry at him. You got to YouTube this. We got to put this on the website.
It was funny, yeah.
It was so funny. You know, he's got that like Louisiana drawl. I mean, it clearly just shows they need a system because they need a system of a playoff system. And I think that the way that game matched up, I do think they were probably the two best teams. But when the way that this team matched up, I mean, LSU's offense just couldn't play against a solid defense like Alabama's.
It was
You know?
It was awful.
It was awful to watch.
I only watched because I had the under. Other than that, that game easily could have been turned off in the second quarter because it was just not fun
It's
watching.
about the time I turned.
Nothing but field goals and missed extra points.
Yeah.
It was a weird game.
Nah, it was brutal. Yeah, it was a brutal game to watch. I mean, they had the ball over the 50-yard line twice, LSU. It was a brutal game. But, you know, congratulations to Alabama. Nick Saban.
He's
Guy,
a beast.
What conference are they from? Oh, the SEC.
SEC, both from the SEC West.
Another title. 3 of the top 5 teams from the SEC in the country.
oh, it was a real exciting game.
That has nothing to do with it.
I mean, they shouldn't have been playing. Should have been Oak State. Should have been in there. So,
Oh,
SEC, best conference in the country.
let's move over to football, the NFL football, the only football that matters.
Yes, sir.
Your boy. Did you see this coming, Hugh Jackson?
He is not. I tell you what, he is somebody's boy, and it's not me.
Why
It
don't
is.
you like? Why don't
I
It was
don't
our
know why you
very
don't
own-
like the guy. What
It was
did
our
you
very own Mike Thompson. As I told Mike T was distraught when I told him.
Yeah.
He was annoyed because he felt like we were finally on the right track. And I said to him, realistically, this guy tried to be the general manager. He orchestrated this Carson Palmer trade. I told you my problem with the trade more than anything was that this guy thinks it's Carson Palmer 2007.
Yeah.
He's making these changes. And then you come to find out that a couple weeks ago, before the last game, he went up to the owner and said, I want to be a part in picking a general manager. Who are you, dude? You've coached 15
You might as well give it a shot. Oh, the worst that can happen is the guy says no.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know if you don't ask.
I think the difference is he didn't ask from a strategy point, like you're saying, like it's worth a shot. He asked because he truly believed he deserved that shot. So he was annoyed when he got fired. Like, why would he was annoyed that he got fired? As if like, why would a GM want his own? Why would his own coach?
Isn't he friends with that?
They had the same agent.
But let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Guy went 8-8. You had said they were an 8-8 team early on in the season.
Huh?
8-8. He had two of their biggest stars.
Their starting quarterback and one of the best running backs in the game went down. Now, what could he have done to save his job?
I'm gonna tell you what he could've
told
done.
me.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
You're a smart guy. They were an 8-8 team. They went 8-8. What could he have done to save his
Here's
job?
what he could have done. When they're 8-4, make adjustments. Even when he was 5-2 or 4-2, and you were preaching to him, you're trying to get me to jump on a bandwagon here every week, and I said to you, they don't play defense, and he never made one adjustment.
But they don't have talent on defense. So what do you want them to do?
Change it up. Stop. The same defense, this prevent defense never worked.
Yeah.
And he never thought to go over there and be like, hey, that doesn't work. I mean, it's simple. You know what? If they went 8-8,
I think it's a terrible firing.
If they went 8,
Terrible firing. I mean, they have had 8 coaches since 2000.
that's because of Al Davis. I think that if you're a GM,
Okay.
you got to start. This guy knows how to win. This guy knows how to win. He built teams in Green Bay. I think he knows what he's doing. He wants to start over. I can't be mad at him. He was calling out his team. Mike T even agreed. You calling out your team after the season's over? Why not?
Well, I agree with that. But, so that's why he got fired to call his team.
No, I think that he
Lost his quarterback.
I think that the GM realized this guy clearly wants a lot of power.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a struggle.
He will get another coaching job. Out of these guys that have gotten fired, I think he's going to be one that gets another coaching job. Because people are going to look at it and say, "What the guy took an 8-8 team, made him 8-8." It's not like he had one season to do what? What did they want him to do? Go win 12 games?
I'll give you
When's
this.
the last time he made the
He
playoffs?
may get one more coaching job.
He will.
I don't think he's a good
He will
coach.
get a
I
coaching
think
job.
he's a good offensive coordinator.
All right.
I think Tom Cable was a good coach. and
Or
should-
Sheldon.
Can we
Art
move,
Shell was an awful
Or
coach.
Sheldon.
can we move over
They're
to some
gone.
good news?
I'm looking forward to hearing whatever you have
Now
to say.
I got a late night tweet from my brother. I get it, saying he broke the news to me late night last night that Shadi had gotten fired, and I was so excited. And so then I was shocked. So then I go back to sleep. I wake up. Come to find out that they now have already hired another guy, which did make all of that thing that you're saying, which you hate, but they had to do. It didn't bother me that everybody in the world knew that they were going to get rid of him when they came.
Your boy Tony Sperano.
So they got Tony Sperano, Connecticut's own Tony Sperano.
He's done a
Dude,
lot
from-
of good things.
He didn't. Did he? Oh, wait a minute. He's the only coach in NFL history to take a 1-15 team to the playoffs. That's a fact.
You think he's a good coach?
I think he could be a very good coach.
And then they got.
I don't think he's a good head. I mean, what he did with the talent he had in Miami was pretty admirable. He lost games because game management wise,
Yeah.
he's not good.
And they're bringing in your boy Todd Haley.
Well, if they bring that in, that's a fantastic move. The guy made Matt Castle a
you don't
star.
think those guys are going to be annoyed with each other?
They're best friends.
I don't know.
What are
It
you
seems-
talking about?
It seems very weird.
He wants him. Tony Soprano wants Haley.
They
It
coached
seems-
together in Dallas.
I know, but it
Yeah,
seems
so-
weird. It seems weird because Soprano's going to be the assistant head coach or something. They were saying.
Well, no, I think if Haley comes in, he's going to be the assistant head coach / he's going to be the same thing that Callahan was. Callahan left. He was the O-line coach / assistant head coach, which
Yeah.
is just a title. Doesn't mean anything. But I think what's going to happen is they bring in Haley to basically say, look, Sanchez, you got 2 years, well, 1 year, really.
So he's the coordinator?
No, it'd be Sperano would be the coordinator making play
Yeah.
calls, but then you'd have Haley coming in there working on the passing game with Sanchez in the skill position. You have Tony Sperano. He's never been an offensive coordinator. He's called plays 1 year in Dallas.
Does that
He was
worry
the-
you?
It worries me to an extent, but I mean the guy was pretty innovative in. When he took over a 1-15 team, he's the one that introduced us to the Wildcat. I know Tony hates the Wildcat, but he introduced us to it. He made Reggie Bush, who everybody had given up on. He made Reggie Bush a 1,000-yard runner.
He also didn't give him the ball for the first 3 games.
Well, the guy wasn't ready to get. I mean, he wasn't good early on in the season. I had him on my fantasy team,
That's because they weren't giving him the ball.
but I watched the games. He wasn't good. He wasn't
Okay.
hitting holes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The guy, to me, the biggest problem with the Jets this year was their offensive line, and he's an offensive
So
line.
you
guy.
love this move.
I do think it's a good move.
Okay.
I think it's a very good move, and I think if they do get Haley, it's a great move.
I think regardless of I think you could go and coach that team.
I think it's good.
And it's addition by subtraction. They got rid of Schottenheimer. It
I
can't be
just
worse.
think
It can't be worse. It's a new voice.
I think that my biggest thing about Sanchez was that he just lost complete confidence in himself, which was weird because even when he was a rookie and was playing bad, I did still seem to think that this guy still has confidence in himself, even when he's playing poorly. This year, I'm telling you, I think after that Baltimore game when he got beaten up and looked terrible, he looked completely nervous. I mean, he threw 2 picks to defensive linemen in that last game.
I think
he looked completely shook, and I think he needed clean the whole slate. Let's bring somebody brand new in. Go back to the ground and pound. That's what this guy's doing. I think that's what you got to do. All right, we got 2 minutes. Give me your potpourri.
I just have the card. You brought something to my attention.
I thought you were going to
last
bring up
week.
that guy that killed Danny Holloway.
Well, he's coming.
Oh, okay, good.
Very quickly, you brought up something to my attention last week. You were trashing the Kardashians. So
Horrible people.
I did a little more into it, and then today, Khloe Kardashian or something, her mom cheated on her dad, and so they think that like
The one with the short hair cheated
No.
on Jenner?
no before Mr. Kardashian.
Oh, the lawyer.
who
Okay.
passed away, and that's why she doesn't
With the
look.
Jews?
Yeah, that's why she doesn't look like any of her sisters or
No
brothers.
way, she's
Well, that's rumors, and everyone's obviously saying that's not true. But it's like, it makes sense. It makes me think these people aren't. They try to be wholesome, but they're all like they're all crazy. And then I saw the show yesterday. It really bothered me.
Who tries to be? They try to be wholesome.
Well, they try to act like we're a good family. We love each other. Blah blah blah. And you
Hey.
cheated on your husband. And then yesterday they're complaining, they followed us to the gym. We can't even go to the gym. Like, your whole life is based on people. You have no skill. Your whole life is based on people just following you around, knowing what you're up to. You can't be mad that they're following you to the gym, because if they're not following you to the gym, then you're not
You have
relevant.
nothing. Yeah, right.
Now your boy, Johan Vandersloot. Here's a guy who...
Your boy?
Very quickly. Here's a boy who killed somebody, got away with it.
2 people.
Got away
Two
with
people,
it.
yeah.
Was hooking up with a girl in Peru, I believe. Went to the bathroom, came out, and she was Googling him. And he was so mad by this, he snapped her neck.
Yeah.
My question to you is, it's clear he did the other thing, right?
Yeah. There was that one video I saw where he admitted it.
Yeah, that ABC thing. Do you believe that he will ever confess? Or is he just going to be like OJ, like, I never did it, and blah, blah, blah?
No, he's going to confess.
I think he will.
There's got to be some sort of statute of limitations that's going to run out.
Hand on the other one. Well, why not?
He's gonna do it.
And if you're the
He's
girl,
going to need the money.
why are you Googling him? You know who he is.
I know. She lives in Peru.
And why are you mad? If you're Johan, why are you mad at schooling you? Like, it's clearly out there. You're mad that she knows who you are? Like,
You should sit up. You just messed up, sweetie.
wow.
You just made a big
Pretty sure that's
mistake.
what he said.
That may have been
I
a
immediately
fake-
said her little screen went like this and blood came down the screen.
On those famous
He was
last
just like-
words.
His computer set up. When you Google him, it just goes, goodbye. Goodbye.
That may have been what he said.
Oh.
And
He just shuts it slowly.
That is a perfect way to end it. Have a good week. I hope you all recover from that. We're the Tri-State Sports guys.
That's great. Later.